Annabelle.
Huh?
Want to help me shoot a vlog?
Depends on what it is.
It's going to be about photography. What is all that beeping?
It's my group chat.
Want to help me? It's about photography. Ah. Alright, it's October 7th. It's 2:45. It's like 80 degrees outside. I started out this morning in pants, long sleeve shirt, hoodie, and now I'm in a t-shirt and shorts and Crocs. I wanted to talk today about photography. One reason is because with videography, I also became interested in photography. I just haven't had a lot of time to spend doing it. It's hard enough to learn how to shoot videos and edit and stuff, let alone learn that too. But I have dabbled around in it a little bit, and you know, technically videos are just thousands of pictures all snapped together to create a video. So you use a lot of the same settings and the same idea in a way. And a virtual buddy of mine that has been following me since I started the YouTube channel, social media, she posted a Facebook post I ran across. She had told me about getting a camera a while back, and she was out and she posted practice pictures. And she said in the caption, she was just putting them out there. She still needed work on editing, and she hadn't figured out quite how to use the camera in different lighting situations. And I thought that was awesome. I mean, that's what I'm talking about, just putting it out there, even though you haven't got it figured out, even though you're not great at it. You know, it takes a lot of courage just to stick it out there. And that's what I love, that's what I do. You know, I didn't want to wait until I got good at this stuff to start posting it and sharing it. And I was gonna try to do a little bit of photography stuff, maybe to help her out if she watches this. Hi, Tricia. And then if anybody has any questions, I by no means have it figured out either. So some of the stuff I tell you might be wrong, but what I've gathered so far, and whenever I do take pictures, what I look at and how I look at it, and lighting and stuff like that. I think the first thing I would talk about would be lenses. I vlog with the 10 to 18, and it's got like a 4.5 is the lowest aperture it goes to. The 90D that I'm shooting on came with this 18 to 55, and its lowest aperture, I got this other kit lens. It's a telephoto lens. It's a 55 to 250, and its lowest aperture, which is probably pretty low, is actually 4, which is pretty good. But the one lens I recommend anybody getting, and I do that because somebody told me I should have it, and he said whether you're starting out or you've been doing it forever, this is like one that everybody has. So Tricia, this lens changed my life. It is a prime lens. It is what they call the Nifty 50, and it has an aperture of 1.8. It's beautiful. It doesn't have image stabilization, which it is what it is, you know. I shot some stuff at the bakery when Barbell's show. Some of these pictures of my cat I shot were really great. And this is no editing. I haven't even really got into editing that much. This is a definite. It's like $140 on Amazon. I've linked these lenses, the camera, all that good stuff in the description. Awesome lens. I think this is the one that I'm gonna use today. Both show. Maybe I can show you differences. Try to. I don't want to make this video too long. This is not your typical vlog, but what I wanted to talk about today. Tricia mentioned in her comment that she wasn't sure yet how to use the camera in different lighting situations. I had the same deal. I do like run and gun vlogging where the light changes constantly. what I've picked up for the best image, and I said this in a video recently, you want your ISO to be low. The ISO is the sensitivity of your sensor, and that is, the more sensitive it is, the more grainy it'll be. The f-stop is like the, I don't know how to do this. So there's 3 different elements to the photo and how it'll turn out. How, when you're shooting, you have your ISO, your f-stop, and your shutter speed. If it's bright outside, you can raise your shutter speed, which it'll be closing so fast that it won't let very much light in, and it'll also capture the image better. A slower shutter speed, if anything's moving, you'll see a blur. Slower shutter speeds, of course, will let more light in. The f-stop, or it gives you depth of field. I mean, that's why this nifty 50 is so awesome, because it has a really low f-stop. They call it a fast f-stop. Basically, in this shot, I'll show you in a video where it pans from Annabelle's face to Wynn in the background. That's the depth of field and how fast it can move from one to the other. Whenever it's like a 4 or 5, it won't have that. You'll be able to see Wynn in the background pretty well already. Annabelle would be in focus, and then if you pan the focus over, they would switch and you wouldn't see a big difference. And also, the bigger the f-stop, if you're at a higher f number, the tighter your iris is, so you're not letting in as much light. And that's a trick that I've learned whenever I'm out running, gunning. I switched my little dial on top to my f-stop, because all you got to do is raise that f-stop and it'll darken it if it gets too bright, like this. See that? I just shot my f-stop up. Say I got into sunlight, and if I wanted to brighten it back up, I just lower it back down and it opens that iris back up. Now see, the depth of field is on me. Whenever I change the f-stop up, now you're seeing everything back there in focus with me, but it's so dark. See, I'll go back down. Now everything in the background's kind of gotten blurry a little bit, because this is a really, as low as it's going to go is at 4.5 right now. And then you have your ISO. Like right now, I'm at 6400. At this point, to lower it, I'd have to change my shutter speed, and in videos, when you change your shutter speed, it starts messing with your, let me show you when you slow it down. If I wanted to get my ISO down to 100, see, I'm at 800 now, look.
Oh Lord, that's laggy.
Because that shutter is just doing this. Rather than boom, 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 where it's seeing it, it's real slow. There's really no easy way to explain this. Let's do, what if we go with lighting? Try that, and we'll try some experiments. All right, Tricia, I'm failing miserably at this. So I'm outside, and I put on the 18 to 55 because it's a kit lens and it comes with the 90D. I'm not sure what everybody's shooting with. I'll also try this out with the nifty 50. But basically, anytime I'm shooting video or photography, my first main focus is on the ISO, because as far as I can tell, the lower the ISO, the sharper the image. Now, a lot of people like the depth of field, the depo look. Now, if it's bright out, sometimes you just can't really help that, because the only way you'll get the shot is you raise the shutter speed to get your exposure right and get your ISO down, or you have to raise your f-stop, and that you lose all of your background, your depo, whatever it's called. Am I saying that right? Depo? Let me look it up. It's called bokeh. Bokeh. sorry, bokeh. Where was I at? So in videography, you always want to stay double your frame rate. I like to shoot in 30 frames per second, so I keep my shutter speed at 60, and then I try to keep my ISO as low as possible. So if I'm outside, I'm just gonna have to lose the bokeh and not have any depth of field. I'm gonna crank up my f-stop until my exposure comes down to where it needs to, which is also at my lowest ISO. Photography, you can play with your shutter speed. Outside, you can raise it, it'll darken it. Or the other thing I recommend is ND filters, sunglasses for your camera. Perfect. They help you out extremely well. I'll have to do I did a little bit in a video before, but with these, you want step-up rings. Just get you a mid-size, fairly bigger ND filter. That way you only need one, and they'll fit all the lenses I have, because I have step-up rings. I've linked all this stuff in the description. Let me try to give you an example of shots that I would do outside. So right now, in video mode, I'm at 1/60th. On the shutter speed, I had to crank my f-stop to f16, puts my ISO at 125. In order to get this shot that I just did, a picture with no ND filter, I had to crank my shutter up to 1/1000th, 1/1200th, and I was able to drop my f-stop down to f3.5. They say if you can go just a notch above or two above your lowest f-stop, that's also your sharpest image. For that shot, I zoomed the camera all the way in, I stepped back a little bit, I cranked my f-stop all the way down so I could get the blurry background, and my shutter speed was at 1/800th, and my ISO was right around 200. This is with an ND filter on. I'm at 1/60th, I'm at the lowest f-stop, and my ISO is at 160. To me, I think that's about as good as it can get as far as I know. I can crank the f-stop up a little bit to get a little bit sharper. There's stuff in Photoshop you can do, or your editing software, to make them sharper, better. And then there's settings in your camera. You know, they have daylight settings, tungsten, cloudy, night, all those. Or you can use, they're like user 1, user 2, user 3. I click on one of those and I tweak those just a little bit, a little more contrast, a little more saturation, a little more sharpness. And when I take pictures, I take them in a JPEG, a large JPEG, and a RAW. That way, as I practice, I just pull the RAW in and I see kind of what I wanted it to look like, and then I have the RAW to play with to adjust it however I want to adjust it. So this is the Nifty 50. It's a fixed lens, so I can't zoom. Right now I'm sitting at 1/4000th on my shutter speed with an f-stop of f1.8, and my ISO is at 100. This is how fast it is. Isn't that awesome? That's what fast means. Boom. Beautiful. Let me snap a picture. This is with the ND filter. I'm at 1/60th. I'm at f1.8, and my ISO is at 160. Can't beat it. And here's a little bit closer with this fixed lens, man, and look at that. Isn't that beautiful? f1.8 really gets in there. Still holding an ISO of 125. I can change them focal points. Pretty nice. I hope that helped. I realized pretty quick I bit off more than I could chew. There's a lot to photography. There's a lot of gears turning and a lot of elements, and My biggest advice would be just do like Tricia, get out there and shoot and just start playing with it and watch as many tutorials as you can and tweak on your camera, carry it with you everywhere you go. Just get out there and shoot. Again, I hope this helps. If not, eventually I'll be able to do them better. I definitely recommend ND filters. Get your step-up rings. I definitely recommend getting the Nifty 50. Changed my life on lenses and sharpness and the beauty of videography and photography. Those would definitely, where I'm at right now with video and photography, which is not far, it's like 5 months in. I still have tons to learn. Please leave me comments if you have any questions that I might be able to help with, or maybe you can help me. Correct me on anything I've said wrong. Again, I'm not claiming I know it all. I'm just kind of throwing it out there where I'm at now. So I hope you guys have a good day. I had fun making this, kind of. Hope it helped somebody. But I'll see y'all tomorrow.